Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
What is up, and welcome into a very special off-season edition. We are the One and Done Show. We are your fast break of college basketball information. I am your host, Eric Romoff. You can catch me on those Twitter streets at FantasyNav, and he is the captain now. He is the interim captain of our ship. He is Dr. William Cannon on Twitter, Mr. J. Heinrich. Jay, welcome in. How's it going today?
Hey, good, Eric. Just captain. When our good buddy Mike isn't in the seat, just holding that captain's chair warm for him today. But now excited to talk some basketball today. We're 5 days out from the start of college basketball season, and we're a week out for the first game for our guest today. So at this time, we'd like to bring on our guest. He's heading into his 5th season as the head coach of the Drake Bulldogs. Head coach Darian DeVries. Coach, thanks for joining us, man. How are you today?
Hey, doing great. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, definitely excited to have you join us here today. Definitely excited to learn a little bit more about these Bulldogs. You know, this is a program that we've been following pretty closely. We follow Missouri Valley Conference play pretty closely. But for those who are less familiar, what's something about this Drake program, about what you're building that you think people need to know that maybe doesn't get the national attention it deserves?
Well, I think the biggest thing for our program is just how much it's growing, from a fan base standpoint here locally. A lot more eyeballs are on our program, which is, what we love to see. And we've been very fortunate that I think a lot of this growth is taking place because we've had so much continuity with our players. I mean, we have guys that have been in our program now the entire duration, and it's a lot of key guys. So, and they've stuck around, for a long time here. So we're an older veteran crew, but again, they started off, as freshmen and sophomores, and been able to stay here now going into our 5th year.
Now, Coach, like I said in the intro, you're coming into your 5th year here, and you've done a really nice job of building this program sort of in your own mold. First 4 years you've been there, you have 20-plus wins seasons, each season, regular season championship in year 1, NCAA tournament appearance in year 3. So what are some of the core values of your program that you believe have contributed to your early success?
Well, I think everybody talks about in coaching, like your locker room so huge, and what's going on inside that locker room. So I think it started with we have really, really good guys, competitive guys, and that culture piece in that locker room is so important for everybody. When you leave that locker room, what's going on when those doors close, and I think we have great leadership and have from the very beginning. We were fortunate in that way, and now. Over the course of time, we've been able to keep a big group together consistently, and then you just adding in, pieces here and there, but they just fit right into what you already have, established within those walls. So it makes it easy for you as a coach. You don't have to, reinvent the wheel every day, or, from what you're trying to get accomplished.
Yeah, I mean, watching this team play, it certainly seems like there's that cohesion amongst this group. So can certainly appreciate why that is, something to be happy about as a coach, and definitely feels like it helps this team come into the season, even more seasoned and prepared for a deep run. I want to talk a little bit more about last season. Tough loss in the conference tournament to Loyola Chicago. Made your way into the Roman CBI postseason tournament and dropped a tough game to UNC Wilmington. So from your perspective, now that we are matter of days out from the new season, how would you rate last year? Is there anything from last year specifically that you're looking to bring into this season and carry forward with as a lesson learned?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is we just want to stay healthy, and that's we have some guys returning from injuries right now, and typically that's been in March. So I'm hoping we're getting this all out of the way in early November, so that by the time March comes around, we're full go and ready to have at it. So, you're looking back at last year, there's always there's those one or two, man, we let those get away type things. And we dropped a couple back-to-back close home games that, typically we're very good at home. We only lost one game in conference play on the road. If you do that in most seasons, you're feeling terrific about things. And unfortunately, we lost 3 games at home last year. So, just taking care of your home court is, finish one game out of first. Like, that's where it was. And as we go into this year, it's just so important. We talk to our guys, you got to take care of that home court first. And typically we've been really good, on the home court, because it's a great place to play, great environment and things. We just let a couple close ones slip away.
Coach, you talked a little bit ago about the cohesion and the type of guys you have in your locker room. You did lose a couple of key pieces at the forward wing position in Tremel Murphy and Shanquan Hemphill. So you went out and got Texas Tech transfer Sadar Calhoun and Truman State transfer Eric Northweather. How do you feel like those two will fit into an already sort of cohesive locker room? And what is your general approach to navigating the waters, which can sometimes be rough now, of the transfer portal?
Yeah, I think both those guys would be play huge roles for us. Joining a veteran group, they're not coming in here and having to win the game for us every night. There's going to be nights they do win the game for us, but the good part is when you have such a veteran group that they can kind of find their way around as the season goes, and really on the night they got it going, help us get over that that barrier that you need to do to win a game sometimes. So, but that second part of your question with the transfer portal, it's what it is, right? And there's end of the year you see almost 2,500 transfers now, and I think it says a lot about our program when we got basically 4 fifth-year, 6-year seniors with COVID that they decided to come back. I think that says a lot about how much they're enjoying their time here at Drake and enjoy competing, for our program and in the Missouri Valley.
Yeah, for those of you that are checking in on YouTube, let's show Coach DeVries some love. Hit that like button for him, but also want to hear from you in the comments. Which player for this Drake Bulldogs men's basketball team are you most looking forward to see play in the season to come? Coach, I want to get your opinion. Right, we've talked in a few different ways at just how deep of a roster you're returning from last season, but that obviously includes your son Tucker, right, coming off of Missouri Valley Conference Rookie of the Year and had an absolutely phenomenal freshman season. So, right off the top, I want to know from your perspective, what's that dynamic been like, coaching your son and specifically looking to the upcoming season? I mean, what are you expecting out of him in his sophomore year?
Yeah, from just a day-to-day standpoint, as a coach, it's unbelievable. Like, you get to be dad and coach. There's so many things when you get into this profession, you sacrifice a lot of stuff, as your kids are growing up, because you're gone a lot. You're gone recruiting, you're gone on road trips. So you miss a lot of those games and things that, a lot of dads, get to be at. Now I get to get it back on the back end, where now I get to experience something that most dads don't ever get to experience. They call their son and I was practice today, and they're like, yeah, good, and that's about all you're going to get. I actually get to see it. So, and live it every day. So that part's, amazing, to get the chance to experience that day-to-day stuff, with him. And then from, what to expect out of him this year, I think he's completely changed, like his body and his approach, from high school coming into college. You don't know, no high school kids really do what to expect. Like, it's just different, it's so you don't really know what to work on until the season's there. And then you're like, okay, I got to get better at this and this thing for the following season. And I think he's done a great job of attacking some of those things he wanted to get better at. And I'm looking forward to, seeing what that, what those results are around the game floor here in less than a week.
It's definitely one of those things that I think generally we see these players come onto campus, and just watching the games, it's like, well, they're college basketball players. They're ready to go. And you just touched on that. There's just, even the most talented high school players come on and they have so much to learn, not just about the game, but about their bodies and everything. And it sounds like he's doing a great job with that. When we talk college basketball, especially as we get closer to conference tournament time, big dance, we talk about the importance of guard play. This season, you have the luxury of returning guys like Roman Penn, Garrett Sturtz, DJ Wilkins, plenty of talent, plenty of experience. How important was it for you to bring these guys back? And is there one of those three that you particularly see maybe taking their game to the next level to help your team? Is this a collective effort from that backcourt? How do you see that playing out?
Yeah, I think all three of those guys kind of have an equal impact on our team, just all in different ways. But they're so good in what their value is, for what we're trying to do, and all differently. The biggest thing for us right now, with a week to go, is just getting guys healthy. And three of those guys are those three guys you just mentioned are three of the ones we got to get healthy. So DJ Wilkins had torn his ACL last game of the year. Regular season game of the year last year, so he's getting close to getting back. Roman Penn is getting closer to getting back and fully healthy. He had battled through some foot issues the whole season last year, so getting him back. And then Garrett Sturtz just had an ankle sprain and some things that he's working his way back from. But those three guys are so critical to what we try to do, and so important. They're all preseason, all conference guys. So, I think it says a lot about what other people think about them as players. So that's a nice luxury to have when you got that type of experience and talent with those three guards, coming back for us.
Yeah, certainly some really strong guard play for your Bulldogs. And we're definitely hoping that we see them fully healthy and back to 100% as the tip off looms. I want to talk a little bit again about last year, something that was kind of curious to us. We saw a dip in 3-point shooting, especially in conference play, right? So you're bringing back a lot of the same roster. I want to know, over the course of the offseason, has improving the 3-ball been kind of a point of emphasis for y'all, or were you getting good looks and they just happened to not fall? How do you make sense out of your perimeter game from last year?
I think part of last year's roster was the makeup, like what, some guys were better at, wasn't necessarily 3-point shooting. It was more, getting downhill, getting to the rim, getting fouled and type of stuff. So we tried to play to that. That was the strength of our team. I think this year's team is built a little bit more to get back to, typically we love to space it and let it fly as quickly as possible. And I think this team is more equipped to do that, with a couple of the new additions, with the way the bench fills in behind it, and then also just having a couple more guys healthy. Even like Tucker, just having gone through his freshman year, now understands the game a little bit better, and the game is slowed down. So I think he takes that next step shooting it. Roman Penn, battled his foot the whole year, basically played with a broken foot. So there's just so many things that impacted some of that shooting in a way, just as little as conditioning, not being able to practice on a daily basis because we're trying to get you to the finish line, type thing. So again, hopefully that we can stay healthy, and that 3-ball starts going in a little bit more regularly this year.
For sure, man. It's just the game has changed, as you're well aware, right? And you've been around this game for a long time, and the game is changing, and everybody falls in love with the 3 sometimes when they shouldn't. And like you said, the longer these players are in the college game and figuring out sort of how the game works, what the flow of the game is like, and sort of buying into what you're coaching them, you could probably start to see those improvements. We talked about guard play. We talked about some wing, sort of forward play. I want to ask you about the big man in the middle now, Darnell Brody. You don't have the tallest team. I know you're very aware of this. You don't have a bunch of 7-footers roaming around, but Brody's a load in the paint. Do you see his role expanding this season? And is there something like, do you see him being even more of a factor on the defensive end, on the offensive side? How do you see Darnell sort of impacting your club this year?
Well, I'm really excited for Darnell. I think he's had just an incredible offseason. I love his approach. He's really gotten himself in good shape. He's down about almost 20 pounds. So he's moving great. He's running great. Just more active. He just has the ability to go get balls off the rim just a lot better. So I'm so excited to see what he can do. I mean, he should start for us, and play, extended minutes every night. And a healthy Darnell Brody for us will make a big impact for our team, just from a rebounding perspective, someone you can anchor down on the block and he can go get you a bucket. And we just didn't have that last year. And as you mentioned, we're not the biggest team. So we really missed not having him being a big part of our team last year, on a nightly basis in terms of what he was able to do. And I think he's primed to have a really good senior year.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to seeing him back out there for you guys. And if he's shed a couple pounds, if he's moving a little bit more, all the more to be excited about. Coach, but before we get you out of here, just one last question. Wanted to know from your perspective, right? You're heading into your 5th season, like we talked about at the top. Just want to know, what would you say is your favorite thing about being the head coach of these Drake Bulldogs?
Yeah, I think for me, it's every day, you show up and they just love being there. They love being in the gym. They love showing up for practice. And that makes such a difference in the world and what we're trying to do and your enjoyment for everybody, right? It's when they come in with a smile on their face, it just makes everything go so much better, for the players, for the coaches, for everything. I think it shows up on the game floor. When you watch our guys, they have a blast. When we win games, they celebrate. they get the music out and they're having fun with it, and that's the way it should be. That's the way we want it to be. Before practices, having their music going, and everybody they switch off who gets the music for the day, and we try to have as much fun as we can, on a daily basis, and because of that, I think it shows, through and through with our team.
Coach, I did have one quick thing. You're a native Iowan. Drake's obviously in Des Moines. Does that mean something to you to be able to coach, sort of in your home state? And does that bring a certain feel for it when you came over from Creighton and you took over the reins of this team? Did that have a little did that feel special to you to be able to coach in Iowa again?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a huge appeal to me. Everything from high school, classmates to college roommates to, I have a brother and sister live right in town. Other brothers are an hour away. Parents are an hour and a half away. And when you get that opportunity to be around so many close friends and family, and at your games and things, it makes it all that much more special.
Coach Darian DeVries, head basketball coach of the Drake Bulldogs. If you are not paying attention to these Drake Bulldogs, you are not doing it right. Coach DeVries is building something super special there in Des Moines. So definitely appreciate you taking some time out of your day to get us up to speed on a busy offseason and what, fingers crossed, will be another successful year for you here and the Bulldogs. For those of you that are checking in on YouTube, if you have not already, make sure that you've liked and subscribed to the channel. We are within days of the tip-off of the college basketball season, so definitely excited. We're going to be getting you a ton of content and information as we lead up to tip-off and as the season gets going. And saying subscribed, saying here on our YouTube is the best way for you to get this bread.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next